It is a distinct honor and a great pleasure to present to you the graduates of the class of 2015. We ask that you please remain standing for the national anthem. At this time, I ask all of us to observe a moment of silence in memory of the members of our armed forces who have lost their lives in service and those that serve our nation today. Please be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce to you our Masters of Ceremonies for today's commencement, graduating seniors, Luke Boyle and Sarah Collins.
Good morning. I would like to introduce our guests for today's ceremony and ask them to briefly rise when their name is announced. The chairperson of the Triton Regional School Committee, Miss Deborah Choate. And members of the school committee, Mr. Richard Cummings. Miss Monique Greelich. Miss Paul Lees. Miss Dina Sullivan. Miss Robin Williams. And Miss Narissa Wallen. I would like to recognize the selectmen from our towns. From Newbury, Miss Alicia Greco. Miss Damon Jesperson. Mr. Jeff Walker. And Mr. J.R. Colby. From Rowley, Mr. Robert Merry. And Mr. Joseph Perry. From Salisbury, Miss Wilma McDonald. Mr. Ed Hunt. And Mr. Henry Richenberg. I would now like to recognize Massachusetts State Representative, the Honorable Lenny Mira. I would like to recognize Massachusetts State Senator, the Honorable Bruce Tarr. And I would like to recognize the School District Central Office Administrators, Mr. Christopher Farmer, Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Brian Forget, Assistant Superintendent, and Mrs. Kim Croto, Chief Academic Officer. I would now like to introduce Sarah Collins.
It is with both pride and respect that we acknowledge the faculty, staff, and administrators present at our graduation exercise from the high school, the middle school, and each of our elementary schools. We now ask our fellow graduates and all of our guests to join us in applauding these professionals, our teachers, for their competence and dedication. At this time, we will hear remarks from our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Farmer.
Good morning, everybody. Members of the General Court, I believe Senator Tarr is here, as well as Representative Mira, selectmen, members of the school committee, Principal Dorr, Principals McRae, Montanari and Yando are here. Principal Christine Neelan sends her apologies. She has to attend a bereavement ceremony today. I'd also like to welcome, obviously, families and friends and say hello again to the class of 2015. Like Gall, my address is divided into three parts. I have to begin with some thank yous on behalf of everybody for the arrangements that have been made. I'm required to pass on, secondly, a few words of hopefully wisdom. And finally, I have words of benediction and salute for the class. Thank you all for being here this morning for this important occasion on which we come together to recognize the graduating class and to wish them well on their onward journey. In so doing, I want to recognize immediately the critical role of families fully engaged in supporting their students through 13 years of public education and all that that involves. Thank you so much for your partnership with our schools. At the end of senior week, it falls to me to say other thank yous to Chris Walsh and his staff for preparing the facilities, to the school administration in its entirety and the faculty for organizing and supporting the many events that mark the last days of school for seniors, and to Susan Densmore and Bob Lathrop and their musicians, including the alumni including the alumni who have joined them today for the important part they play in these celebrations and the life of the school. Many of the opportunities that our students enjoy are made possible by a host of volunteer efforts, whether they be the PTAs and boosters, Tempo and TF, or the Institution for Savings, or the invaluable support of many individuals. I thank them all for the support they have provided for this graduating class. My warm thanks should also go to our talented teachers and staff. We continue to work our way through a plethora of what are often poorly conceived and unfunded state mandates. The resilience and tenacity of our faculty makes me proud to call them my colleagues. Amongst our colleagues, Andrea Sargent, the Library Media Center manager of the high school, is retiring after many, many years of service, which I believe began in Salisbury Elementary School. I thank her for her extended service to the district. I'd also like to mention that Jim Galanti is leaving us. He's taking up a position in another district rather than transfer to our middle school. He's a casualty of our budget cuts. I thank him for his service. Over the past decade, the state has increasingly shifted responsibility for the funding of our public schools from the state to the municipalities and their taxpayers. We should recognize that the boards of selectmen of our towns have risen to the occasion to enable us to continue to build a cohesive pre-K through 22 school system that now attracts many students from our neighboring communities. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your service. I now turn to the class of 2015. It's always invidious to mark out individuals, but two members of the class are potentially placing themselves in harm's way on our behalf. Would the students I'm going to recognize please stand when I call your name? Enlisting in the U.S. Marine Corps, Shannon Cloutier. Joining the U.S. Air Force Academy, Luke Boyle. In preparing this address, I was greatly discouraged by an article in last Thursday's Boston Globe. The heading is, "Nailing the Fine Art of the Graduation Speech." It was written by David McCullough, the Wellesley High School teacher who was widely reported as telling a high school graduation class that they probably weren't as smart as they thought they were. I shall try not to make that mistake. The article concludes with the revelation that while the author, by all accounts a brilliant English teacher, could remember who had spoken at his high school graduation, but he had absolutely no recollection of what the address was about. So I gave that some thought, very discouraged. So fast forward to this graduating class's reunion in 2035, I began to think that a conversation might go something like this. Remember graduation? I remember Farmer was the superintendent. I remember he still had that accent despite living in the USA for 21 years. I remember he turned up to graduation in a white bow tie and clerical bands, said it was something to do with his medieval college. I remember I thought he was simply copying Ellsworth. I think Ellsworth Rogers is still wearing a bow tie, isn't he? Is that right? Somebody else might remember he tried to teach Max Lutenbacher how to kick an American football. Can you remember what he said? No idea. I was focused on the graduation party. So with that prospect in mind, I thought it best to narrow my ambitions, forget 20 years, focus in the next 4 or so. I do that because whether you're going straight into a career, or to the military, or college or university, or taking a gap year, how you handle the next 4 years or so, how you respond to their challenges and opportunities, how you respond to the choices that will confront you, will shape the rest of your lives. Challenges, opportunities, and choice. I'm going to focus on choice and for illustration, turn to both the arts and the sciences. First, the arts. You may not have heard of Oscar Fingal or Flaherty Willis Wilde. Oscar Wilde was a famous Irish playwright, novelist, and poet in the latter part of the 19th century. His best-known novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray, includes the intriguing line, "The best way to get rid of temptation is to yield to it." In other words, the best way to get rid of temptation is to give in to it. I won't go into what temptations may come your way. I suspect you may already have come across some of them, but I'm sure you get the drift of Oscar Wilde's advice. It's a bit like YOLO, you only live once. Secondly, the sciences and the marshmallow test. Not something you will necessarily have come across in Mr. McVie's lab. The test was designed by 2 Stanford professors in 1970 and carried out in the university's nursery school. The professors placed in front of the nursery school children plates of marshmallows. They told the children, "We're going to leave the room. If you don't eat a marshmallow while we're away, you'll have 2 marshmallows when we come back. But if you eat a marshmallow, you won't get another marshmallow." What's interesting is how the children subsequently developed. The test has been repeated many times with the same results, despite a variety of enticements. The children who had the self-control to delay eating the first marshmallow so that they could enjoy the second marshmallow turned out to be better students. They achieved better SAT scores by 200 or so points, and as adults they enjoyed better health and greater financial success. The technical term is delayed gratification. Delayed gratification. Given the way many of you manage your busy lives now, I believe that many of you are already very good at exercising that self-control. Essentially, over the coming years, the independence of adulthood will provide you with many choices. The question is, will you be guided by Oscar Wilde or the marshmallow test? Will it be, "I want it now," or a thoughtful consideration of the longer term? Finally, I want to conclude by thanking you for the leadership you provided for the past year and congratulate you as a class on your many successes, academically, as athletes, as actors, as musicians, as budding entrepreneurs, and contributors to the life of the school as a community. As a class, you've given meaning to the core values of the school district: integrity, respect, and excellence for all, as evidenced by your mutual support, determination in the face of challenge, a strong sense of fairness, success without arrogance, and student leadership that is ready to talk truth to power with grace and diplomacy, and change the principal's mind on the morning coffee issue. Finally, congratulations on your graduation. My warmest good wishes for your future. Go Vikings.
We will now listen to an instrumental selection performed by our high school band. Our first honor speaker is the student with the second highest grade point average over 4 years, the salutatorian of the class of 2015, Rachel Sophia Williamson. As salutatorian, Rachel's theme will be the past.
Good morning. The term millennial is used to describe the generation born from 1980 to 1999. On the cusp of two different generations, we are increasingly referred to as new millennials or members of Generation Z. We have come of age during a time of rapid technological change, globalization, and economic disruption. We are defined by the world events occurring throughout our childhoods: 9/11, the War on Terror, Columbine, the economic crash in 2008 and falling recession, to name but a few. We have never known a world without major national conflict or global strife, whether that is Syria or St. Louis, Russian aggression, or a government shutdown. We have been consistently surrounded by the rapid advance of technology, especially in regards to social media. We have grown up in a world where our options are limitless, but our time is not. As such, we have adapted to quickly sort through and assess enormous amounts of information, making us the most connected, educated, and diverse generation this world has ever seen. We reach young adulthood in a time of diminishing economic prospects, all the while being reminded that a college degree no longer ensures employment. So why, you may ask, have I felt the need to toss a wet blanket over this joyous occasion? It serves to highlight how enormously blessed we have been to spend our formative years in these halls. Relatively speaking, nothing catastrophic has ever occurred, perhaps besides that moment 2 days before prom and you're thinking, what in the world possessed me to pick this dress? We have been reasonably sheltered from the violence that has plagued this world since our birth, for the most part made it through the recession comparatively unscathed, and have had the power of technology at our fingertips. Despite the typical ups and downs that accompany adolescence, life in this beautiful piece of New England has been pretty great. So whether we admit it or not, we will come to find that the moments that comprise our time at the school are some of our fondest, most treasured memories. Case in point, the infamous Tucker Johnson offered me $50 to mention the white line from the 2012 Triton hockey season for the chance to relive the glory of days past. Even if athletic achievement was not part of your high school experience, they are moments equally as influential and fundamental to the people we have become. It would not feel right to leave out the importance of our personal experiences in this reflection. Whether it is the time spent with family, having to navigate the often choppy waters of high school relationships, or solo projects that taught us just as much about ourselves as it did subject material. Our experiences throughout our years here were both formative and unique. Some professionals refer to Generation Z as the me generation, on the basis that we are increasingly self-centered and in some respects socially isolated. While this may be true, as to some of our experiences are individual ones, our coexistence has tethered us together. So we cannot overlook the moments, such as the destruction of our lovely bleachers at the football game this fall, or lack of senior commons, or our hand in the revitalization of Triton sports that bound us together. While the lessons we learned may have been delivered individually, we absorbed and grew alongside one another, and consequently, by the community property as one. Having spent the last 6+ years with one another, there is an undeniable thread that connects us all. We are part of a combined web. Traditionally, graduation ceremonies are a time to impart words of wisdom onto one another. And I can imagine that some of you, or perhaps more than just some, are experiencing reactions to this that are similar to Tupac Shakur's when he said, "I don't see why everybody feels as though they got to tell me how to live my life." To which I would have to say, you're right. I am in no position to give any sort of life-altering advice. But what I can say is this: whether the events that we have experienced over the course of 18 years were shared or singularly significant, each one is an individual link of the safety net that is formed within us. In fact, graduation is as much a celebration of essential life experiences as it is about obtaining passing marks. Each triumph, failure, or diversion adds a unique layer to this net of protection. So when we face challenges down the road, which invariably we will, The 23 on the stats test will remind us that the world does not halt its rotation when you slip up. That first kiss will remind you to never give up on love, or in some cases, it will prompt that awkward moments don't last forever. Waiting until the night before to write that 5-page essay will reinforce the notion that taking a walk on the wild side is a necessity every now and then. Being second in the state in wrestling will remind you, wait, scratch that, Luke Boyle will never fail. The greatest author of all time, the literary deity J.K. Rowling, during her 2008 commencement speech at Harvard University said, "We do not need magic to change the world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better." As I touched upon before, our world has many issues, an idea our generation knows all too well. However, there is a spark in each of us which has been nurtured and developed through our time within these walls. These sparks will chip away at this darkness, whether that is violence wrought by extremist groups, climate change, the disparity in healthcare in developing nations, race riots, starvation, or the absence of clean drinking water. As Rowling said, all the power we need to make this change. The spark needed to light this fire is inside of us. Chelsea, for you will be through foreign diplomacy, Jess Stav, perhaps through teaching the future generations, Kristen Siebert through your voice, and Nick DeLay via the next engineering breakthrough. We entered a world in which our prospects were grim, and so many things need to be addressed and improved. Each of us possesses a unique skill that has been owned over the past 4 years. It's for these reasons, the distinctive skill each of us holds, that I am sure we're going to change the world for the better. However, before we look to what is ahead, proper homage must be paid to what has taken place in these halls, in our homes and neighborhoods, our entire lives for the past 18 years. First and foremost, thank you to our parents for their unwavering and ever-present faith and love, which with teenagers can be no small feat. Thank you to the teachers and staff members who not only taught us the obligatory historical facts and math equations, but the life skills and knowledge required to be effective members of society. Your time, energy, and compassion has been elemental to our success. Thank you to our friends and classmates who have occupied the space next to us, whether that is a desk, riding shotgun, or on the field. Your presence has made this time what it was. To all these people and experiences, we are eternally grateful. They say millennials as a whole are introspective and constantly searching for a deeper philosophical meaning. So in true millennial fashion, I wish to leave you with a few final thoughts. The first speaks to the moments within this reflection of which we are not the most proud. We must resist the urge to erase and destroy them, because we will erase the bad in our past only by adding something better to them. So I urge that as we each move forth with our lives in the different directions that life will lead, to take the good and the bad, the past in its entirety, and add good onto it. For those inextricable threads that tether us together will remain, even after we leave this place, so that as we improve as individuals, our collective past will swell with the enormity of these accomplishments. And now for a Buddha quote, because what would a prophetic speech be without one? No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. Today's problems require creative solutions, so trust in what you have learned, grow from past mistakes, believe in the person you have become and the person you will grow to be. Be the change you want to see, because from there we will create a better world. Thank you all, and congratulations, graduates.
At this time, we will now listen to a choral selection performed by our Triton singers.
Changed, so
Our second honors speaker is the student with the highest grade point average over 4 years, the valedictorian of the class of 2015, Kirsten Floodman. As valedictorian, Kirsten's theme will be the future.
Good morning to the class of 2015, as well as our teachers, administrators, friends, and families who join us today. I would first like to congratulate our class on this tremendous accomplishment. Additionally, I would like to extend the gratitude of the senior class to those who helped us reach this moment. Graduation marks a commendable and exciting time in our lives, but not an endpoint. This ceremony marks our transition into our lives after high school, the future. The future has mystified every generation. We try to predict the future with technology and tools, from polls before political elections to weekly weather forecasts. Sometimes these attempts are accurate, but they are only a set of predictions based on past observations and patterns. With a future ahead that holds many variables and unexpected mysteries, it seems surprising that any of us has power or influence over the coming years. I recently read a book called 5, which is designed to inspire young people as they approach their adult lives. The cover of the book bears this question: where will you be 5 years from today? 5 years. That is 260 weeks, 1,825 days. What will we do with our 1,825 days over the next 5 years, and all of the days after these? Although the future is uncertain, we must prepare ourselves anyways. I read a memoir called The Last Lecture by Randy Pausch. Pausch was a professor at Carnegie Mellon University. In the fashion of many professors approaching retirement, Pausch gave a last lecture called Really Achieving Your Childhood Dreams. Reflecting on his own teaching career, he wrote, "I've often told my students, when you go into the wilderness, the only thing you can count on is what you bring with you. And essentially, the wilderness is anywhere but your home or your office. So take money, bring your repair kit, imagine the wolves, pack a light bulb, be prepared." How will we prepare? What will we bring with us? As I thought about my own emergency kit for the future, I was reminded of a project we did in 6th grade social studies class at Pine Grove School. We were learning about the ancient Egyptians and their customs. When an Egyptian died, he or she would prepare for the afterlife by gathering money, treasured belongings, and even servants for their tombs. After learning about this, we had to draw our own Egyptian tomb, containing everything we might need for the afterlife. As a 6th grader, we thought about concrete items like favorite teddy bears or iPods and phones. Today, would we select the same things for our future as we did in 6th grade? Or would we find that over the past 18 years or so, we have been filling our emergency kits with other valuable tools and skills? I can think of at least 4 skills we learned during our time at Triton that prepare us for the future. First, our emergency kits are filled with our future plans and our dreams. Earlier this year, the school administrators and guidance department spoke to us about the importance of developing a plan for the future, even promising to dye their hair blue if we each had a plan for after high school by the time of graduation. I am looking today to see how many of them have blue hair. This conversation demonstrates the importance our mentors place on dreams and future plans for each of us. In the book 5, the author asks a surprisingly logical question. If you don't have a dream, can you have a dream come true? As we gather today, we mark the start of our future dreams and plans. This doesn't have to be a frightening or a stressful experience. In the advice of Randy Pausch from his last lecture, you can always change your plan, but only if you have one. He also pointed out that his greatest source of inspiration, Walt Disney, also believed that plans should be malleable. Pausch said, "Walt Disney's dream for Disney World was that it would never be finished. He wanted it to keep growing and changing forever." Our own plans and dreams may change, but as long as they exist, we can prepare for them. The second item in our emergency kit is our future of personal interactions. We can all say with certainty that we will interact with other people in the future. Even in a technologically focused world, personal interactions are still of great significance. These interactions will likely become even more important, with the ease of which we can now connect with those all over the world. Randy Pausch believed that appreciation of differences and the capability to work with others is imperative, saying, "If you can find your footing between two cultures, sometimes you can have the best of both worlds." A month ago, I took part in the Triton French exchange program led by Madame Simons with 17 other Triton students. I actually took Spanish during high school, so I'm not too sure what I was thinking when I signed up for a French exchange. But I was surprised by how many of our interactions with the French people and culture I was able to understand. When working towards even just passive knowledge of a language, understanding body language, expressions, and human communication patterns are just as important as understanding the words themselves. With the skills to recognize these subtle tendencies that transcend all languages, communication is improved exponentially. This experience emphasized the importance of thinking globally and our incredible ability to connect with people from another country and culture. As we move into our futures, we can prepare ourselves for our futures of interpersonal interactions and the importance of collaboration and communication. Among these items in our kits, we take a third item, the ability to anticipate and handle hardship and failure. We know that struggles will emerge, but the most reassuring thing is that we can prepare for these struggles. From these failures, we can gain invaluable experience and insight into our abilities and weaknesses. Randy Pausch reminded his students, "The brick walls are there for a reason. They're not there to keep us out. The brick walls are there to give us a chance to show how badly we want something." By viewing our future hardships in this positive way, we can assure ourselves that each failure and every criticism can be changed into an opportunity for self-improvement. Recall that over the next 5 years, we have 1,825 days. I think it sounds like we have time to recover from at least a few failures. The fourth item in our emergency kit is our set of values. Our values determine the kind of people we aspire to be. One thing our school has taught us to value is community. Throughout this school year, various student groups focused on creating a positive Triton community at school, in our towns, and on social media. We used the motto, "We are one Triton," and worked towards making our school a more welcoming and supportive community for all. No matter in what capacity each of us maintains our connection to Triton, we will always be members of the Triton High School class of 2015. As we move on from Triton High School, I hope each of us can say that we have peers and mentors from the Triton community who would support us in a time of need. Together, our community is strong, even as we move into our future lives. If we maintain our values and a sense of what is most important, it will provide direction to future plans. As we graduate today, we all know we have unique dreams to plan for. With the preparation and support provided by our Triton community and all of our friends and families, we are unstoppable. As the creator of the book 5 wrote, "The future is sending back good wishes and waiting with open arms." I know I'm excited to meet the future, and I can't wait to hear what each of you encounters in your future, Congratulations, class of 2015.
I now ask Ms. Daw and the officers of the class of 2015 to join me at the podium. Chelsea Castaneda, Sarah Collins, Cara Orlandi, Jessica Savage, Laurel White, and Rachel Williamson, as we will present the class gift.
On behalf of the class of 2015, the class officers would like to present the class gift. Through the horrible winter we had, the mats in the front entrance of the school didn't quite make it. For our gift, we are replacing them for the school to have for years to come. The mats that we have right now currently read 1984, so now they'll read class of 2015.
On behalf of Triton High School, I am pleased to accept these gifts from the class of 2015. They are sitting in the high school office now, and they are beautiful. Sometimes we get a class gift and the class presents it and we don't have it yet, but they're there and they really are very nice. They look very adorable and I can't wait to see them spread out. So thank you again, class of 2015. Thank you. At this time, I call upon Ms. Deborah Choate, the chairperson of the school committee, to award diplomas to the class of 2015. She will be assisted in the distribution by Mr. Farmer and senior class advisors, Ms. Jen Scott and Mr. Ben Colby.
Kirsten Nicole Floodman. Rachel Sophia Williamson. Chelsea Atenea Castaneda. Sarah Lauren Collins. Cara Ann Orlandi. Jessica Lillian Savage. Laurel Elizabeth White. Amanda Lauren Bagley. Eve Elizabeth Beebe.
Luke Raphael Boyle. Nicholas William Amello. Jacob Stephen Aponis. Cameron Roderick Armand. Cameron Joseph Atherton. Cody James Bamford. Christopher Anthony Baird. Scott Paul Buckless. Jacob David Atkinson.
Allison Marie Beatty. Teresa Healy Benoit. Emily Catherine Booth. Harley Alexandra Boshin. Aislinn Marie Bradley. Caitlin Ann Broderick. Erin Nicole Brown. Jolene Veronica Bucella. Hannah Grace Cagney.
Jacob Lurvy Burns. Justin Robert Cashman. Colin James Kavanaugh. Jake Alexander Chapman. Adam Maxwell Chatterton. Kevin Raymond Clark. Timothy Michael Clark. Paul Michael Cloutier. Clint Abraham Cohen.
Maeve Callowart. Hannah Elizabeth Canning. Michaela Summer Chenard. Alicia May Clogston. Shannon Marie Cloutier. Sophia Marie Coder. Courtney Colleen Cohan. Catherine Susan DeLacy. Christine Emily Denaro.
Jack LaForest Cook III. Brian Edward Cox. Neil Finian Cox. Xavier David Devine. Nicholas Wayne DeGenova. Jared Joseph DiNatale. Jeffrey Raymond Douglas Jr. Edward Dragani Jr. Brendan Hagan Driscoll.
Courtney Ann Driscoll. Sarah Flynn Duncan. Claire Elizabeth Flynn. Kaylin Marie Frazier. Brittany Lynn Gallant. Sarah Marie Gansenmuller. Ariana Rosemarie George. Marissa Christine Guglielmi. Haley June Gilmet.
Nicholas Edwin DeLay. Jacob Richard Durkin. Kevin Michael Barron Jr. Brandon Ricardo Figueredo. Tyler Alejandro Figueredo. James Joseph Ford IV. Jack Lewis Geminaro. Jake William Gilbert. Christian Silva Gomes.
Eden Shelley Gerlitz. Abigail Rose Hill. Rachel Madeline Jean. Emily McCartney Jewett. Michaela Pamela Hazel Kent. Courtney Alexis Knowles. Savannah Ray Colosi. Jordan Elizabeth Levitt. Jessica Grace Lynch.
Brett Clayton Greenberg. Jared Mark Gerton. Daniel Robert Horgan. Jake Rayburn Ironfield. Justin Matthew Jewett. Ryan Scott Kent. John Michael Killian. David Allen Kwiatkowski. Curtis John Lanfield.
Jessica Marie Macy. Allison Maria McIsaac. Rachel Elise Cochran Mahoney. Leah Elizabeth Marshall. Jean Eileen Martin. Rachel Kathleen McCarthy. Hannah Catherine McIsaac. Nicole Meredith McKegg. Amanda Lee McCausland.
Max James Lutenbarger. Joseph John Lyons. Maxwell Kent Madden. Jacob Ryan Matsubara. Andrew Joseph McGrath. Matthew Edward McParland. Travis Burke Mihelchek. Joshua Dominic Misiano. Brandon Medeiros.
Camille Grace Mihelchek. Mariana Valentina Mirasolo. Sarah Elizabeth Malika. Carly Margaret Morrison. Caitlin Margaret Muldowney. Megan Nora Muldowney. Eliza Marie Mullen. Tegan Irene Newhall. Jessica Nguyen.
Casey Francis O'Brien. Robert Francis O'Leary. Cody Lucian Paquette. Corey David Parsons. Austin John Passon. Andrew Richard Pirelli. Grant Philip Poster. Dean David Rando. Nathan Medeiros.
Nicole Elizabeth Nolan. Megan Rianne O'Neill. Ashley Ann Paquette. Megan Ashley Paquette. Sophia Regina Pena. Lexi Melissa Penniman. Anastasia Peralt. Brianna Isabel Ramirez. Allison Marie Rennie.
Cameron Michael Richardson. Ellsworth Thomas Rogers. Samuel Richard Ross. Giovanni Ivan Sanchez. Joseph John Schickling. John Holmes Seward. Michael Walter Shea. Joseph Stephen Simon. Joshua Albert Simpson.
Julia May Reynolds. Kaylee Fleming Riccio. Vanity Jane Richards. Kia Taylor Romani. Amanda Ann Rotberg. Ashley Rebecca Ryan. Alexa Stacy Savis. Madeline Johanna Schmuck. Ashley Grace Shute.
Ethan Alexander Smith. Charles Joseph Spinelli. Jared Paul Stanley. Scott Angus Tanch. Mark Everett Thieber. Nicholas John Silofonis. Nicholas Joseph Venora. Cameron Carl Weston. Sean Michael White.
Kristen Claire Siebert. Allison Lynn Soroy. Jessica Stavropoulos. Mackenzie Elizabeth Steves. Brianna Rochelle Sullivan. Nicole Marie Sullivan. Samantha Lee Tebow. Hannah Rose Thibodeau. Helen Catherine Thurlow.
Brendan Young Willis. Matthew Davis Wilson. James Joseph Wood III. Samuel Billings Wright.
Sarah Elizabeth Tobin. Lori Rini Valancourt. Caitlin Cecile Wiley. Emily Dixon Willie.
I now invite the class officers of 2015 to the front of the podium. And now, as the principal of Triton High School, by the authority granted me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the Triton Regional School Committee, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduates of the class of 2015. I am quite sure that Mr. Sullivan got a fabulous picture of that because it really was spectacular. You all set, Jack? There you go. Thank you very much for a wonderful ceremony, and I do appreciate the attentiveness for everyone that was here.